So today we're here with Mr. Donahue, our special guest, and he's so anyway he's chomping on a bit to get something out of his mind.
Yeah. So Mr. Donahue, he's our teacher, and there was one class where he explained how to make the perfect burger. At least
it's my take on the perfect burger.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
So, could you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah, I sure can.
And we'll give our feedback as you go, or we'll insert our own opinions. Either bashing or supporting your statement.
Fair enough. All right, so I feel like
middle ground.
you need to pay some attention to condiments first.
Okay.
Right?
That's the first thing.
Well, I think so because the most time intensive part of this is pickling the onions. Because you want to give it like an hour to pickle. It's a quick pickle, but it still needs a little bit.
Okay.
So the first.
So wait, so do you think that the condiments are more important than the burger itself, like the patty?
I mean, I feel like it's like a really synergistic experience, right? Like I wouldn't say that it's more important, but I feel like the sum total experience is more impactful than the whole experience is better than the sum of its parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to say the patty is more important than the condiments, I feel like is
inequitable.
Yeah, it's a bit misleading.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got you.
All right.
Okay.
So I think that so you pickle the onions. Basically, what I do is I cut the onion in half, and then I cut them into really paper thin demi-lune shapes. Right?
They have to be
Okay.
demi-lune.
Have to be because I like the curve because I think that adds more character. You could do a straight cut,
I agree.
which is okay, but I think the curve is kind of nice. It gets all curly cued in there, and then you put I don't ever really measure it specifically, but I'll put hopefully sea salt if you have
Pinch.
it. I put I'm kind of liberal on salt. In fact, it's been critiqued before by others, but I put salt, and then you put just plain sugar, and then you put red wine vinegar in it.
Ooh.
And then you shake it up, and you kind of make sure that the onions are submerged, and then you can just put it in the fridge, and in 30 minutes it softens. The acid breaks down the onions,
Yeah.
There you go.
and so it's not like that raw onion. It's awesome.
Hmm.
Next
Yeah.
one.
Mouth is watering just
Yeah, I've
thinking.
never
Yeah,
heard
it's
that.
Wait,
fantastic.
so
Do you have a preferred wait time for the pickling?
I mean, I feel like I still have onions in my fridge that I use for sandwiches that they've been in there for a couple of weeks and they're still good.
No,
It's all-
they are preserved pretty well.
Yeah, because
they hold up.
it's basically just vinegar cured, so
Yeah.
it's not gonna go bad.
All right. Something to really think about.
All right.
All right.
So, I like to pickle, get the pickle started, and get that going. You also probably want to get the burger meat out.
Right.
And I kind of I used to do a lot more with the patty, but now I just kind of it should be room temperature when you cook it. You don't
Okay.
want to cook cold meat. I don't know why, but I've heard that, so I'll go with it.
All right.
All right.
Now, what kind of, if you don't mind me asking, type of meat do you like?
I like 80-20.
80-20.
Right.
So could you
Like lean is what
No,
you
I don't like lean.
that's-
Lean's awful.
Oh,
And I don't like
okay.
grass. I don't like grass-fed beef
Grass-fed,
either.
okay.
I want some factory beef.
Angus beef?
I want some,
Factory made.
Factory. You're
some
like
High
old style.
fat.
You want it straight off the assembly line.
I want it to be
Fresh off
produced with questionable ethics.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Wow. Hey, everyone has their preferences.
Now, if you had the
Like,
option to have
if they were force feeding this cow corn,
Yeah, like
I
the
would
stereotypical-
suspect that it would taste delicious. I'm just kidding. I feel like
Yeah.
that's horrible. I don't endorse the
Okay.
torture of animals, but I do like the fatty meat. I don't like the
Okay.
if you had the option,
Because fat equals flavor.
fat equals flavor. That's
Exactly.
right. That's a rule.
Learn that from you.
It's the truth. Fat is the flavor. If you take this is true. If you take beef fat and mix it in with ground turkey, it'll taste like burger, like beef burger.
Huh.
Right? It's the fat that's the flavor that has it.
interesting.
Yeah. So then 80-20, room temperature. I got my onions pickling, and then I'll mix some mayo with a hot sauce that I made called the Red Leather.
and
That
what is
sounds
that?
neat.
Or is that a
That sounds
secret
very-
It's
recipe?
not a secret. I grew peppers and I dried them, and then I let them dry, and then over every Christmas I make a batch of hot sauce, and I make a label that says Red Leather. And this year is Red Leather 4 El Quattro.
Is it named after that guy in your
I can show you a picture
background?
of the label. And so I make the hot sauce, and then I use it all year and I give it for gifts. So I mix it with mayo, and it's just kind of like a tangy mayo.
The cream.
But it's spicy. All right. Now I make the patties. I don't salt the meat until they're pattied, and I don't salt them until right before they go on the fire.
Okay.
I use a charcoal grill. Okay. I use a chimney starter so there's no lighter fluid.
Very specific.
When I set up the grill, I set up a hot side and a cold side. It's never really cold, right? And the benefit is it gives you cooking options. So I put all the
Yeah.
coals on one side, and I try and make sure all the coals are on one side, and then keep the other side as open as possible. And that way you have control, right? All right, and then, you loose form the patties. You don't want to overwork the patty. You want as much like interstitial space as possible because that's where the juices gather, right? So you don't want like a dense patty, right? So you loose form the patty, and one of the tricks is I kind of like basically I make a ball and I smash it once, and then I kind of like round the sides off so it's not so jagged. Like you can get away with a jagged burger on a flat top grill, but on like a griddle, but on a grill with the holes in it, it makes it kind of like it'll fall apart.
Yeah.
So I kind of like I smash it, and then I kind of tighten up the sides, and then you want to put a thumbprint in the middle.
Kind of like your logo, right?
Yeah, but what it does is it
Hold the condiment.
no, what it does is you don't see it after it's cooked, but it for some I don't know why, but for some reason it limits the reduction in size of the burger, so it doesn't it doesn't ball up. It keeps it flatter.
You don't want a meatball at the end.
Yeah, it keeps it from becoming a meatball. So you make a patty and you put like a dent in the middle, and that keeps it from shrinking up to a ball.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Your imprint.
So then I use mild cheddar, like as mild as it can get. And I feel like I would go straight up like chemical American cheese, but I don't know if I really like that.
The stuff that burns instead of melts, like
Yeah.
like that level
Yeah.
Like
of
the plasticky stuff.
Yeah.
But when you put it in a grill and it melts in, it doesn't have that. If you put it like under a broiler, it does that.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway, I use a mild cheddar. I cut it really thin. And if I can make bacon ahead of time, I will, but I don't think it's necessary. All right. So then, right before I put the burgers on the grill, you have to get the grill nice and hot. Make sure it's really clean, right? And then it has to be like screaming hot because you just want that browning stuff. And it's called the Maillard reaction, right? Which is like kind of like caramelization, but it's what happens to proteins, and that's what you want, right? So you have two options. Some people say you should do a reverse searing, which means you heat it up. You bring it up to internal temperature on the cold
Then you
side,
see the outside.
Yeah.
and then you finish it on the sear.
almost like a sous vide, but not really. Like
Yeah,
where
it's
it
the
cooks
same
in middle
it's the same
before.
principle, right? So you
Yeah.
bring it up to temperature, and then you add the browning at the last second. I don't do that, and I kind of feel like what happens when I don't know if this is true, but like what you want is it to be as dry as possible, right on the outside, because that's what makes
Caramelize it?
Yeah, that's what brings that brownness on.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I keep it air dried in the house for like until it gets to room temperature, it'll be like dried out a little bit, and then I can put it on and get the browning on, and then just finish it cooking up the heat. And the benefit of that is then I can put the cheese on it on that side, on the cool side, so it doesn't like melt the cheese too much.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. So I like, I sear it, and then I move it off to the cool side, and then you want it to be like 130 or 140 degrees internal temperature. But there's also like all these tricks, like you can use your hand.
Oh yeah,
to
like to test like whether
Yeah.
it's like medium or.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
this is like rare, this is medium rare, this is medium, and then this is well, right? Or medium well, because every finger you put to your palm tightens the palm muscle, so that like feel would be like that's what it feels like.
Huh.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
Try that at home, guys.
Yeah.
So you hold the hand out and you put your pinky to your the big palm, and then the softness of the big palm is what the rare meat should feel like.
Wow.
Yeah.
The more you know.
So you can touch it a little bit. I feel like wash your hands frequently. It's not so
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially considering you're gonna be never seen one of those
Just
suckers.
shoving your finger
Well, I
in the
mean, like
middle of
you're gonna
it.
touch food when you're preparing it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Of course, of course.
I actually
then-
use
Well, you don't
telepathy.
use gloves
It's,
every time you cook.
I do not use gloves, but so then I also put jalapeno peppers on the fire and get them charred.
I am a
And
fan
then
of those.
So then I get them nice and blackened on the outside, and then I put them off on the cool side to continue roasting with the burger, and then I'll toast the buns
What kind of
Right.
buns are you using?
I do Martin's potato bun.
Mm,
I feel like it's
okay.
the best bun on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very generic, but
Oh, they're fantastic. All right,
They're
so
popular for me.
Yeah.
All right, so then I grill the buns and take them off. Right, it's nice if you do a little like 90-degree turn on the bun to get that cross hatching effect
yeah.
on the bread.
oh, that's
aesthetics.
aesthetic,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
very crucial part of
I think
cooking.
it's
Very
so
important.
crucial, right? And so then you assemble the burgers, right? So now the burgers have the cheese melted on them, and you got your charred jalapenos. I have like a tray, and I'll just like put the burgers right onto the toasted buns on this tray, and then I get inside and I assemble, and so I put the red leather mayo on it, and I put the pickled onions on the bun, and then I chop up the charred jalapenos and I put those on.
Do you shock those in water to get the black off, or do you leave that on
I'll
there?
leave the black on.
All right.
But I know what you're talking about. I feel like that's like when you're like cooking
Yeah.
sauces with it and stuff.
Like fancy stuff.
Yeah, like you like put it in the you put it in a bowl with like saran wrap and it steams the skin off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've honestly never heard of that.
Yeah, like it gets blistery, right? So then
Mm-hmm.
if you like put it in, and I think also
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, with the
I
water,
get it.
I think
the
so.
steam from the heat gets trapped in the saran wrap and it like pushes the skin off, so you can like
Huh.
rub the charred skin off.
Wow.
Now I have a question. I don't know if I just didn't hear this, but do you put lettuce on your burger?
No,
And why is that?
because I like it the way I just said.
Okay. I mean, I guess.
So you
like
don't
a-
you don't put any of the other
I don't put
stereotypical
Tomatoes.
condiments
I don't use
on,
ketchup.
So like
or
on-
mustard.
On a scale from 1 to
No.
10,
I mean, I'll do it if I'm doing like that burger. You know, like that's a different. I feel like
I'm thinking of like the Americanized like version
Yeah.
of a
ketchup,
Like when I
mustard, tomato,
right when I
pickle.
make it for my family, I'm the only one who likes this burger in my whole house.
Yeah, I mean,
So when I
This is
make
your burger,
Yeah, this
not
is
the
my
Donahue
burger.
household.
Yeah.
No, like I'm making burgers for the
Trademarked
family.
burger.
I have to
Yeah.
have the mild cheddar's fine. But they want like lettuce, thin slice of tomato,
Yeah.
ketchup, mustard, that whole stuff. It's just
Yeah.
fine. That's a good burger.
yeah,
It's not
acid,
yours.
my
Popular
burger.
for a
yeah.
reason.
Well,
Yeah, right. Bacon, I feel like goes very well with either of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you
definitely.
can put bacon in a salad, and people do because it's so good. I
I
mean,
do.
You do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like a
no shame.
spinach salad
No
with like strawberries and a
Costco,
vinaigrette.
those Costco salads.
Oh, and
That's
like,
good.
Spinach and
Strawberry
bacon.
spinach
Yeah,
salad. That's
with
a
a
good
little bit of
salad.
bacon on there, and
I like
like
it.
a vinaigrette.
Mm. Vinegar and
That sounds so
bacon. Get over yourself. That's outstanding. Come here, you. That's
All
good.
right.
That's a good
Alright.
burger right there.
All right, well, thank you so much for elaborating on your fancy for burgers.
It's my pleasure.